true that Chinese companies are taking the whole global MedTech ecosystem by storm. We've seen this, and we're observing this trend very closely. I think there are a couple of factors at play here, which is driving this. One, the whole Chinese government has been very, very active in promoting the whole MedTech ecosystem local. They've invested a lot. Compared to OECD countries which spend less than 1% of their GDP in overall MedTech support, Chinese government has spent close to 4 to 5%. It's like more than 6x of that. That's been very helpful for the companies. Secondly, we've seen that, interestingly, and this is very counterintuitive, that Chinese companies have invested in R&D much more than the OECD average. Typically, Chinese companies, MedTech giants, have invested close to about 14-15% of their revenue on R&D. And the OECD average would be close to about 6 to 8%. This is almost 2x, if you consider. And with the whole cheaper and local availability of talent and manufacturing, you can only imagine how much that can translate to. The third thing is, of course, we know that Chinese companies are able to make products at a much lower cost. We've seen that even in some of the very high capex categories and very costly and high-end equipment, Chinese are able to bring in products at 30, 40, even at times 50% lower capex prices, which is a very viable option for a lot of entry-level customers, mid-sized customers. A lot of the large customers can still continue to buy a lot of Western and OECD products. But for mid-sized companies, this becomes a very, very strong proposition. And remember, the mid-sized companies is where you're seeing the majority of growth. Also, another thing which they're doing really well is counter to, again, what you might believe. Chinese companies filed about 300,000 patents of AI compared to maybe 65,000-70,000 in FY24 from US. So that's again close to 5x. So China is investing a lot in AI. And that AI technology is, again, visible a lot in the products that they're bringing out on the MedTech side. So that AI sophistication is pretty strong. And finally, under the radar, what they've done a lot of strategic M&A. And they've done mid-size and smaller deals more. So MedTech companies from China had acquired a lot of technology from overseas. They've scaled that up. They've got that technology in-house, exported out to China, manufactured at scale, then of course sold it globally. And you see that they've not done too many large deals. You'll see very few $500 million plus deals, but a lot of deals between 50 to 500 range, where they've acquired technology and they've scaled it up. So we're seeing this trend. We want to see how this unfolds. Of course, it is important for the Western companies to recognize this and build in certain differentiation in the way they run business, especially around becoming more cost efficient and also bringing in a lot of newer technology and AI into the products that they're doing to remain competitive. Of course, Western players hold a certain brand, a certain price premium, which we expect will continue to remain for at least the next few years, but could soon start getting challenged pretty badly. So it's also important for them to be able to stay true to their strengths in terms of the quality of technology, the service, the distribution, the relationships with the opinion leaders and doctors, which is where a lot of these Chinese companies don't really, match up. So that's a very interesting trend that we see happen globally.